Hi everyone, today I'm talking about if I bought any stocks this week, and it's after we had quite a bit of a decline this week. And I actually earlier in the week made a video about this, saying that in August I think there could be a bit of a decline because of some of the news that's coming out. So on Monday I uploaded that video talking about that decline, and by the time I recorded it and then edited it and then uploaded it, which was about an hour before the market actually opened, I went and checked the futures and I went, whoa, this is a bit of a decline going on right now. And I thought this could be quite interesting. And it didn't really go anywhere. I thought it would be quite a big decline that came ahead, but it was only about 5%. So I was kind of excited because I was getting CNBC always gets a little bit carried away and it starts putting out these big articles and it starts putting notifications out. I don't know if you get the notifications from CNBC, but then they were going out with the capital letters. Dow dropped 700 points and all this, and they were getting really carried away. So I thought we could be on a bit of decline this week, but then it kind of, towards the back end of the week, it seemed to have recovered quite a bit of it going forward. So did I actually go and buy any stocks really? Well, no I didn't. I actually didn't buy any, and I'll go through a few reasons why I didn't buy any. But if you did buy any, I feel like there was some good opportunities out there to go and buy, and if you were quite heavy on cash, then it was a pretty good opportunity to buy. But for a few reasons, I didn't buy any stocks, and I'll go through them. But I would say that I was really close to Visa. I was watching that very close. I was kind of hoping for a bit of a more of a 10% pullback, to be honest with you, and that didn't really happen. So that's what I was kind of aiming for. And another two stocks were Facebook, which Facebook for me dropped down to 180, and I was like, this is kind of a good opportunity to get in, but I was more watching Visa. But Facebook was really interesting because that went to 180, and I feel like there's quite a lot of upside. I feel like that stock should be about a $250 stock personally. So I feel like that was massively undervalued because there was quite a bit of an upside in Facebook. And the other one was Nvidia, that kind of touched towards the $150 range as well. And I feel like there's quite a bit of an upside in Nvidia, and for the potential that it has going forward with a lot of the sectors that it's in as well, I still feel like there's good growth in Nvidia as well. So that was another interesting one that I was watching at the time. So the reasons why I personally didn't go and buy any stocks, there was a few reasons, and the first reason I'm going to talk about is the S&P 500. Now, when I look at the S&P 500 itself, if we have a look at the stock chart, like I say, it didn't pull down as much as I was hoping to, and I still think there's probably chances later on in this month that it might pull back more than what it has done. So it only pulled back about 5%. And when we look at towards May time, which was the last kind of decent pullback, that was 6%. And if we look at the next pullback, that was back in December. And they were all for the same reasons, because of news. And the one in December was about 19%, nearly going to 20% correction territory. And all of these were kind of just China trade war related. There's also a couple of other little things that are on the side, like, for example, a lot of the economy slowing down and what have you. But the main kind of reason was the China trade war that was going on. Now, when we look at the red line that's going across where the bottom of where the May pullback was in the S&P 500, now I believe that the pullback was going to go below that red line at some point, and between that red line and all the way to the bottom where we had the December 2018 lows, I felt like the stock market was going to pull down into that range. So I was watching the stock charts going, I think this is where it's going to pull back to, and this is where I'll buy in and make that correction worthwhile buying into that dip. Now, because the stock market didn't actually pull back into that range, I felt like it should have pulled back a little bit more on this news and go back into that range. And when we look back at the last kind of pullback in May, that was going on quite a bit of a downtrend. And the only reason why that actually went up is because of the Fed coming out and they were saying they were going to cut rates. And after that was announced, that's what actually pushed the S&P 500 up to its next highs. And without that news, I felt like the stock market or the S&P 500 would go on a little bit more of a downtrend to that kind of territory again, which it didn't do. And with some of the news that has come out recently as well, with China coming back with tariffs, I kind of felt like we kind of entered this kind of negative phase again where the stock market would go down from here. So obviously probably the reasons for the pullback was the China trade war. And when we look at the news again, it sounds like the China trade war is kind of heating back up again. The deal that we thought we were close to twice doesn't seem to be there anymore. And funny enough, I was listening to Trump and he was saying that he says that, China really need a deal and all that. And the amount of times that Trump's come out and he said, oh, China need a deal, or we're so close to a deal, it's like 90% there, and it just hasn't happened. Really just kind of like, you don't really know what's going on. And from my kind of feelings, to be honest with you, I feel like the trade deal kind of thing has just totally gone to the other side. So we should see a lot of tariffs going back and forth. And at some point, I feel like the US will come out and put some more tariffs on China. When that will happen, I don't know, but it could be this month. And then obviously I feel like we'll have no progress until the next trade deal meeting, which is in September. So I feel like August could be a back and forth month with a lot of tariffs going on. So we'll see what happens there, but I feel like there'll be more tariffs, and because of the negativity around the China trade war, I feel like that can still pull the stock market down. So I feel like I've not totally missed out on this dip, because I feel like there could be more negative news with the China trade war that goes on in this coming month as well. So as well as the China trade war, and historically August being a negative month as well, is that I also recently bought a stock on a decline, which was Align Technology stock, and I obviously bought that I think it was last week. So that was a new purchase, and I don't want to buy too many stocks at once. I normally leave a bit of a month's gap between buying stocks. So obviously with it being a week, it's a bit too soon for me to go and buy some stocks. Now obviously I can knock that rule out the window if I see an opportunity there. But another thing as well is that, because I believe that potentially, you know, in the long term, we could see a big, a lot of economies right now are in kind of like a recession phase, and the US as well, the growth is definitely slowing down, and that could lead to the stock market pulling back towards probably 20% like in December. And if that was ever to happen again, like in December, I want to have a cash pile there ready to go buy stocks if the stock market was to pull down that much. And if I was to buy some stocks now, my cash pile would go down quite a bit. And right now, I'm kind of sitting on about 20 to 30% cash. And if I was to go buy some positions now, obviously that would take that down. So I kind of want to wait for that cash pile to build up as well, just in case there's opportunities to go buy then. Because if I bought on the 5% dip and then it goes down more, I wouldn't have that cash pile to go and buy some stocks. And that's also something I'm being really careful of right now. So I kind of, want to keep that cash pile there in case stocks do go down quite a massive percent. So that's why I didn't buy any stocks over this last week, guys. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a decline at some point as well, and that will be another entry point to get into them stocks. I always do like the stock market declining a little bit, because that is what lets you go and buy them stocks at a discount. And like I say, I believe there still could be one sometime soon with the China trade war news that is going out there. But hopefully I will add some positions towards the end of the month. And like I say, if I ever do add positions or sell positions, I always update you on this channel, and I'll let you know what price I bought them at or I sold them at. And I always like to be transparent like that, and to kind of help you guys, and you can see my portfolio and see what the moves I am doing in the stock market. So guys, if you could give the video a like, subscribe, thank you for all the support recently, and I'll see you on the next video.